welcome to the Dritz Dresden channel. I'm Skeener, that's Derp Derp, and we are here to review the next part of the Skypiea campaign.
First of 2 seasons of Skypiea, technically. Because they put Skypiea in 2 seasons for some reason.
Is the camera working?
No.
Oh, okay. So,
Light's on, but it's not working. Like that light.
oh, did you unplug it, plug it back in?
Not yet. That also involved restarting the computer, so.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, anyways, last time, let's get into it. This review that's so spectacular. Oh, and while we're talking, you might as well say don't forget to unlike and unsubscribe. If we get under, remember, if we get under 10,000 subscribers, then we don't have to do One Piece anymore. Isn't that wonderful? Then we can do something else. Come on, guys. Please, I'm begging you. Come on, guys. Do it. You can. You can do it. All right. So next part of Skypiea starts with Luffy. I think it's Luffy.
Or first,
Usopp.
let's just go with the same format we did last time. The characters introduced. We introduced to, it was alluded to in the last half.
Couple of characters.
Enel. A guy that we saw in the first half, but we weren't given a name. Wiper. The guy with the tiki mask that was blowing ships up.
Wiper, no wiping. Wiper, no wiping.
And then the 4 god priests, Om, Satori, Gidatsu, and Shura.
Yeah. Alright, cool.
Compared to the first half, that is a lot better amount of characters introduced.
Yeah. There's a lot less this time, but these are important characters, especially this part of the story. So anyways, I believe I forget who all is in the boat, but it's Luffy, Sanji, Usopp, and someone else. And I think this is where he had like Zoro and I think I wrote that down. Zoro, Nami, Nico, Robin, and they went their own way, and then Chopper was on the boat. That's right. They're making their way to the sacrificial altar of the people who are still on the boat. That's right. So it's 3 coming to 4. Let's go. All right. So they enter the forest on their new boat that they got, and there's just a crap ton of traps. There's like saws and blades cutting into them. They got stuff shooting at them. It's crazy. And as they're entering it, they see a whole bunch of you know broken boats, and they're like, "Huh, this isn't ominous at all. Wow, okay." And through their wackiness, oh look at that, we lost some subscribers. All right, we're on our way. Down, down, down. Okay. And so that's kind of cool. All right, sacrificial offer, yes, and then yes, Luffy, Robin, and Nami uh, explore. No, it wasn't Luffy, was it? No, maybe it was. That's what I wrote down. Luffy, not. That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, we learn about the 4 ordeals, and Luffy, Sanji, and Usopp are there driving their boat, and they gotta pick one of the four. The four are, it says on this like hand, and there's like this giant statue, and it's swamp, iron, balls, and what's the last
Or
one?
spears.
Balls.
Yeah. It was
Japanese is called balls. They're like, yeah, we can play with balls. What's the other one? I always miss one. Balls. Oh, strings. That's what it was. And um, Luffy decides to do strings or balls because he's like, oh yeah, that sounds fun, you know. Um, and oh look at it, we had all those views and then we got nothing. What did we do differently? Maybe we just need to make better content. That's just on us.
Maybe we need to go back to our old naming scheme because that's when it seemed to go down when we switched our naming scheme.
It's possible. You can try it. Anyways, let's see. You got the four deals, so they choose the balls, and meanwhile, like Zoro and Nami and Nico Robin, uh, they're you know looking for food off on the in the forest, and they notice that it's real dirt. It's not clouds that it's in this forest. They're like, huh, that's interesting. Anyway, so we are introduced to Mr. Skypiea Priest Satori of the forest, and he is a wonderful fellow. He sounds like a clown, and he gets to play with balls, and he's like flinging them around,
This
and they're
guy.
kind of going anywhere. Yeah, and um, he says, I thought it was a chick, but it's actually a guy. He says, "Oh, hey, yeah, if you want it, you have a 10% chance of making it through my ordeal. Welcome to my ordeal." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna attack you now." And they're like, "Wait, what?" And so what he does basically is this whole. We'll just talk about this whole scene, and if we skip some stuff, that'll be fine. We'll just talk about this scene. Um, they're fighting, and these balls are random. Sometimes, if we learn that if they hit a ball, there could be a flower that pops out, or there could be, knives that shoot out of it, or it could explode. And there's all an assortment of other things as well. And Satori, we learn, has the power of predicting their attacks. So when Luffy's going to do a Gumu Gumu pistol, um, Satori keeps saying to himself, "Oh, you're gonna attack me with that arm thing of yours. All right, well I'm gonna catch it." So he's able to counter any attack that Sanji, Usopp, and Luffy are doing to him, and it's it makes you go, okay, how is this possible? How is this a thing? Um, and there's different parts in the fight where Satori actually uh, throws them off the boat, and he's like, "Haha! If that boat leaves, you'll never be able to make it, and then you'll die here. Yay!" And they're like, "Oh crap! We need to get the boat." And there's actually there's more fighting, and Sanji gets exploded, and Luffy gets exploded, and Satori gets, as they're still alive, Satori gets more mad, so he summons what's known as the Dragon Ball, which is a series of balls that are connected with a mask of a dragon in front, which is awesome. And Luffy's about to hit it, and then Usopp just tackles him, and he's like, "Hey, don't hit the balls; they're gonna explode." And Luffy's like, "What? They are?" It's like, weren't you listening? That's what he just said. And Satori's other ability, which is really cool, is he can bounce the balls off of other things. So you can basically ricochet them like billiard balls, and they can he can throw a ball, and then Luffy will be like, "Haha, you missed," but he'll hit two other balls, and come back to him behind him. So that's awesome. but also terrifying because you don't know what's in the ball, and it's like this guy, what kind of training did he go through to be able to do this? Um, During this fight, we also learned about the dials, um, how there's not just you know uh, the voice dials and the um, what are they called? The air dials or whatever. What are those things called? Uh, we talked about it in the last episode. What are they called? Skynight something dials, Skypea, sailors, Bowden dials. Oh, to the tone and breath dials. That's what it was. But these ones are different. They're called versus Firelight, Luffy versus Satori. Belt. What are they called? Do you remember that? They're like damage dials or something like that. I wrote that down somewhere.
Reject is one of them.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Impact.
Impact dials. That's what they're called. I knew. I have it here somewhere. 10% spot rate. Ella versus Tori. All right. And during the fight, we learned that Usopp, after seeing Satori and Luffy swing on vines to avoid the balls and stuff like that, um, Usopp realizes, oh yeah, I got a new invention, and he throws on this cool belt, and in front of the belt is a iron bar thing or iron claw, and it's attached to a rope, and he can shoot it. And so he shoots it to a place, and he sees the boat, and he's able to swing to where the boat is. He's like, yeah, I can get to the boat now. This is sweet. And they're all cheering. They're like, yeah, we're gonna get to the boat. And he's swinging up there, and then Sanji's like, let go, let go. And then Usopp is like, oh crap, I don't know how to release the rope. So he just swings back, and everybody's just like, are you kidding me? Oh my god, you just failed. You just failed so bad. And Shindorans, we'll worry about that. Skyrider, Shura, Fuza, Sacrifice Rules, Aisa, Viper. Satori defeated. Okay, Dragon Ball and Satori defeated. So after that, they fail the boat. They're able to defeat Satori. I believe they turn the impact dials on him. Instead, they kind of figure it out how they work, and they turn it on him, and he gets defeated. Um, but meanwhile, this is kind of going back and forth. Um, at the ship, Chopper's left there to be in charge, and he remembers that there's a whistle. He's like, okay, I'll wear this whistle just in case something happens. And he's trying to repair the boat, and he goes down these steps, and where his hammer fell, he goes to grab the hammer, pick it up, and he's very scared of all the sharks in the area. And then all of a sudden, this man comes out of nowhere. Um, what was his name? Skypea Priest, Skyrider Shura, and we learned that he is the strings guy, because he mentions strings a little later. But Chopper, as soon as he sees him, blows the whistle, and that's when Ganfell is at his house, and he's actually with what are they called? Conus and Pagaya. They're with them, right?
Yep.
And they're talking. And he's like, "Oh, I like to make pumpkin juice or whatever." And then he gets called, and they come, and then these two Skyriders are attacking each other. And the Skyrider that attacks Chopper, he has a javelin, or not? It's not a javelin. What are those things used for jousting? The long pointy sticks things. I don't know what they're called. I should know, but I don't. It has, when it impacts something, it lights on fire. So he has this magical, oh, lance, that's what it is. It's a magical lance that does fire, and the mount that he's riding also breathes fire. So during this whole thing, Chopper's like, I need to help my team out, help my shipmates. I need to become reliable, and the mask gets on fire, and Chopper is able to transform and sacrifices his body a little bit in the fire, and he uh, rips the mast off, so the whole ship doesn't burn down, which is awesome. Gonna be awesome. Gonna be honest, it's awesome. Um, and the giant bird is Fusa of the Shura's bird is named Fusa, and it's kind of like Pierre, but it's not a didn't take have the devil fruit power, and uh, so after that's right. So we get Ganfall while he's at his house or whatever. He's talking about the ordeals and the sacrifice rules. And the sacrifice rules is someone has to be sacrificed, which is why Shura is there, and he's mad about this, and he kind of explains about um, the ordeals and sacrifice rules as well. And he's talking to Chopper. He'd be like, "Hey, you guys are being punished. I don't know what happened to your crewmates. They left, um, but I'm gonna kill you, which is do this sacrifice, and then I'm gonna find the other ones and kill them as well." And the ordeals are different, as you have to fight one on one with one of the four priests, um, which is and the balls ordeal is what Luffy, Sanji, and Usopp are doing. Um, we also get transported a to where the Shandians are, and it kind of comes back to that, and they want to challenge NL's power, and we find out that the leader, um, Wiper, his like dad was some big giant warrior, and he's trying to emulate him, and there's this little kid that's like following Zoro and Nami and Robin around, and she's like gathering dirt and putting it in her pouch and just keeping her distance. And she makes it back to her city, and she is kind of eavesdropping in on this conversation with Wiper and his lieutenants, and she is scared of him, we learn. And there's this other woman named Loki. She's one of the lieutenants, and um, she's on the side of Aisa and is like, hey, let's take this dirt and it's sacred to us. But Wiper's like a mean guy. He doesn't care. He's just like, hey, what's going on down there? And this is where we kind of learn about um, how the priests are able to predict what's going to happen. And this power is called mantra. And some people have it and some people don't. And you're able to predict what's going to happen very quickly. And you can also sense other people in a particular area. And she's very gifted. She's very we learn that she can feel a wide range, and the Shandorians um, use her to sense if danger is coming or not. Um, so that's cool. Let's see. We also find out. Yep, the Shandoran warrior. Then we're introduced to Kamakiri as well. He's one of the lieutenants. Um, he's not very impactful at this point. But then we get a little backstory, and we learn that there's 6 years, Enel has been ruling for 6 years, and everybody has been on their toes for 6 years. Nobody's having a good time because Enel knows all and sees all. If you step out of line, you're dead. So, as they saw with him attacking Konis and Luffy right before they got on the boat. So, that's scary. Rocky. So in the duel between Ganfall and Shura, Ganfall gets defeated. He gets defeated because something has to do. He can't move, and we learned that it's Shura's ability to utilize strings, and so he can't move, and he gets stabbed, and he's fallen through the White Sea, and Chopper dives in after him, even though Chopper can't swim. And Chopper's like, oh no, why did I do this? And so they wake up back on their boat, hurt but alive. Someone saved them. We don't know who, but someone saved them. So that was cool. Let's see. And then we learned Aisa's mantra. She felt two, as she was up in the Shandorian city, she felt two voices were gone, and then they presumed that Ganfell and Shura killed each other, but it was actually Satori that died, the ball man, and that's probably why they changed it to Sphere, because you're like, hey, let's go play with balls. That's funny. Let's see. All right. And then the Shandorans realize that they're weak right now. Let's all attack. So they all decide to attack them. And we learned they have like these skate things. They skate on clouds, just like the guards did. And that was cool. And they're like just kind of like skating through this forest, trying to attack the priests and stuff. And they're looking for Enel. And all right. And we're introduced to Skypiea Priest, Skypunk, Gedetsu, and Skypiea Priest, Skybreeder, Ohm. So the Skybreeder, he has a dog, a giant dog, which looks very similar to the dog at the beginning of the series. When Luffy was facing the Chopper Man. What was the name? Buggy, the Chop fruit. Like he was on that island, remember? And they had that little puppy and was going, arr, arr, arr. It sounded weird. This dog looks similar, but like Clifford form, you know? All right. At this point, yeah, this is very vital to the story. We learned that the upper yard is actually the other half of Jaya Island, and Nami figures this out because they're told about like what happened to this island, and it's a really interesting lore, and or at least that's what they're guessing. It's Nami and Nico Robin they use their high intelligence to be like, wait a minute, this looks like people and stuff like that, and they watch the Southbirds and that's what at Southbury. That's what saved Ganfell and Chopper. For whatever reason, a giant Southbird helped them. We don't know why, but it happened. Cool, awesome, great, grand, wonderful. No yelling on the bus. Okay, cool. It's the other half of Jaya Island. All right, Southbird saved Chopper, and then I kind of put two and two together, and I was like, the Shandorians from Jaya? That's totally possible. Oh. Let's see. And we realized that, yeah, that is true, that Nolan told the truth, and about the city was like pushed up through the, what do they call that thing that brought them to Skypiea? That
The
force, that sonic knock upstream. A knock upstream hit part of the island, like half of the island went up into the Skypiea and landed in Sky Island. And that's where the sacred forest comes, and that's where, and there was people on that island when this happened, and so Nolan the liar was actually telling the truth, and there was a city of gold in this area. So we see Wiper again, mascot from the beginning, and this is where Luffy, Sanji, and Usopp they make it back to the ship, and Zoro, Nico Robin, and Nami also make it back to the ship. And they have a giant party with a bunch of wolves, and which is awesome. What did you think about that party?
I honestly don't remember it because I watched it on Saturday.
Yeah, you don't watch it too quick, man. Don't watch it too quick. They were like making a lot of noise. They were like, "Yay, let's have a huge fire!" And then Nico Robin's like, "We need to," and Nami were like, "We need to put out the fire. There's things that'll come after us." And then Luffy and Usopp were like, "Oh, she just doesn't know. She doesn't know." They're like, "What? You have to have a fire when you're outside. We have to have a fire. That's just how it is." And so they're making a bunch of noise, and they get surrounded by these wolves. And Chopper talks to this wolf, and the wolves are like, "You're being too loud. You need to shut up." And they're like, "Oh, we need to be quiet." And then Nami's like, and they're like, we're gonna steal all your food or whatever." Then Nami hits the main wolf, and then the wolf likes Nami because he's like, "Oh man, you hit pretty hard. I like you." And then they're literally dancing with wolves around a giant fire and celebrating. Um, as the boat needs to be repaired, like Usopp had, like, after the celebration, Usopp had to pee or something, and he envisioned something repairing the boat, and he thought it was a ghost, and he got freaked out, and um, no one else saw it but him. So was it real? We don't know, but after that happened, the boat was repaired, and they were like, "This is weird. Who do we know?" Because when they came up there, they had the flying version of the Going Merry, right?
Yep.
But then they transformed it into, there was like metal on the side, like iron on the side, and they're like, how did they know to repair it to the way it was? Which is weird. We don't know like what happened there. It's a mystery. Oh my god. Shut up, Molly. At this time, the Shandorans retreat because it's apparently at nighttime they are not as powerful or something, or the priests are more powerful. I don't know how that works. Oh, and then Nami had started wearing glasses. She looks weird with glasses on. I'm not gonna lie. It's just weird. So
You look weird.
yeah, but I wear glasses all the time. She only wears reading glasses, so it was weird. And then she went to not wearing glasses anymore. Like, what the heck? Let's see. Oh, and then we get like a little. There's like an episode where there's a little like, calm down. Let's have a meeting, and that all the characters have a meeting, and they're like, what do we know so far? And what they knew is that there is definitely a city of gold on this island. It's the other half of Jaya Island. Um, Evidence is that it's part of Jaya Island is because there's Southbirds here, and they evolved and they grew bigger. Um, let's see. We learned that also further evidence is that with the map, um, the island looks like a skull, and one of the clues from that liar guy, what's his name, Noland, said that the city of gold rested in the right eye of the skull, referring to the picture of the entire island. Um, and we also learned that Ganfall is a god. what kind of god, we don't know, but we also learned that he was ousted from power 6 years ago. And, you know, Enel and his 4 priests, like, took him out, and all his. He had, like, 650 or 450, I can't remember how many war priests that, you know, protected him, and he only took 50 with them. The other, like, 400 or 600 are uh, working hard labor. That's what he said. They're working hard labor, and he's like, he turned into a Sky Knight to try to rescue them. So he's been fighting for 6 years. So that's cool. Let's see. Yep, Wolves and Campfire. Yay! So the Shandorians call Earth Verth, and the Sky people, they call it Verth. I don't know why, because it's Earth, but it's whatever. It's their word, Verth, and this, and then we get the story told of uh, this land. Sometimes the I can never remember what that's called. The knock-up streams would knock up stuff from the Blue Sea people, and so you'd get like a bucket, or you get like a weapon, like a sword or something like that, or you get a patch of dirt, or a treasure chest or something like that, and these things would be sacred to them. But once the island came up 800 or 400 years ago, um, people got greedy with the amount of land. And okay, you can push that off. That's not fucking weird. And uh, they got greedy, right? And you had the Shandorians that wanted the land, and you had this Skypiea people that wanted the land, and it just caused nothing but a ruckus over who had rights to the land. And the Shandorians were mad at the Skypiea people because they kind of took over the land, and they were like, "This is our land. We were here first." Um, and so they want to go after. They want Ganfall dead, and they want Enel and the priests dead as well, to achieve their final victory. Um, which is I don't understand why. Like, Viper has this philosophy of like, yeah, just because there's a third party that's enemies with my enemy doesn't mean we're on the same side. I don't like that philosophy. We need to kill all the blue people, old Blue Sea people that are coming up here. You know, they're trying to do stuff, and we need to kill the two gods or whatever. And so that was just like a weird philosophy, and we kind of learned that people fear him. Loki and Aisa fear him, like they're terrified of him. He's like basically a demon. He's a warrior demon kind of thing, and I think he's just trying to live up to his dad's standards. But we will see what happens in the coming episodes and stuff like that. So, all right. So we're done with that. We got the Verth. We got the God Enel, and that's right. There's a scene where four of the three remaining priests were summoned to Enel, and they started fighting each other. And he's like, "What are you guys doing? That doesn't make any sense. Whatever." Enel thinks everything is a game. Like, he's like, "Oh, how many?" You know, there's like some servants. How long do you think this battle's gonna last? And how many people do you think are gonna die? And this woman doesn't know anything, and then this other guy, he's just like, "Oh, I think it'll last 3 hours, and about 25 people will die." He's like, "Oh, 25, you say? Oh, well, I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna say only 5 people will survive," which means that out of the 81 people that are fighting, it'll be only 5 people who survive, including him, of course. And he talked about like a maxim. His goal was to do a maxim or whatever that is. Let's see.
You'll see.
Yep. Oh, Yeah, we will see. Definitely. Um, yep. This is where the Going Merry was repaired by the ghost. Chopper became bait to catch a fish to get the ship off of the sacrificial altar. That was actually really fun. He gets put. He's like, "Oh yeah." Usopp's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna help me," and Chopper's like, "I am. All right." Just being like put in the back of the boat, like. Hey, you're tied with a rope hanging off the side of the boat. Awesome. Let's be some bait. Cool. Anyways, uh, of course, Nami hears about the City of Gold, and she's all like, "Yeah, let's go to the City of Gold. Awesome." Um, but they plan to split up, and so half of the squad um, will stay on the boat and get to the shoreline, while the other half will walk to the City of Gold. And so you have who's on the boat? We got Sanji, Usopp, Nami, and I think that was it. It was just those three, right?
Hmm?
It was just those three who stayed on the boat.
Yep.
Um, oh, and they had I think Chopper was on the boat too, right? No, he Chopper left with the walking, uh, and they had like Ganfall or whatever, who was there, and he was like recovering from his injury because Ganfall didn't die because reasons. Um, let's see. Oh, there's a snake, and the snake attacks people. Um, I think it attacked like it had like poison, and it was like attacking Luffy and Zoro, and Nico Robin and Chopper. Um, they're like, "Oh my God, poison!" And because of that snake, everybody got separated, and they were going in different directions. And we all know how great Zoro and Luffy are with knowing where to go. Um, absolutely zero. So
Zoro's the
there's
worst.
yeah, he's absolutely the worst.
I
North Bean's
mean,
up, right? Yeah.
somehow in Alabasta, he ended up getting to a forest in a desert when there's nobody else saw this forest.
That's called skill. I'm pretty sure that is. All right, so we get some upper yard lore in history, and I think I talked about that before with the island coming up with the knock upstream. Um, so that was cool. And we're introduced to the Divine Squad. It's 50 people with one big guy leader named Yami. No, Yama. We'll get to him in a second. But they are they Enel is anticipating another attack from the Shandorians, and of course they attack, and he tells his priest, "Oh, you guys can go anywhere. Divine Squad, you go to certain places and attack the intruders, and attack the Blue Sea people and the Shandorians." So, so there's that. Cool. Um, let's see, awareness of sin. I think that was Ganfalls talking about how they understand um, like what he did to the Shandorian people and what they did, and they're basically taking their land, and he feels guilty about that. Um, so let's see, and yep, we get a negotiation flashback of him trying to negotiate with Wiper, and Wiper like not believing anything he's saying, um, and Ganfall saying, "Hey, I want to make a peace treaty," um, but it just didn't happen due to previous dealings with each other. Yep, Wiper's demon-like. Then we get the sky combat. We learn about Ganfall talks about what sky combat is, um, and the impact dials and the mantras here are explained. Um, so mantras basically you're able to predict what people are going to do. That's explained. The impact dials are the force dials, how they are able to hit them without touching them, and the sky combat is using different dials. So you have Shura, the guy with the flame lance. That's a fire dial. He was explaining that something you could use to heat up like soup or food can also be turned up to be used as a weapon. You can also put them in in things like in his animal, what's his name, Fuza, his bird that spat fire. Um, that that was actually really cool. I'm not gonna lie. You can use that stuff, and then they use the skating on clouds things, and then they have the muskets which can fire multiple rounds, which didn't make sense to me at first, and now it's making more sense to me of how that's working. Let's see, and I think this is the part where Enel and encounters uh, oh no, it's not. And then we learned that Enel has a huge mantra. He can feel like everything in Skypiea, or it's either just the island that they're on, or all of Skypiea. I can't remember which one. But he can feel all. He can feel everyone and what they're feeling at that time through his mantra, and so that's how he's able to attack them so quickly. Because he just knows, he can just feel that you're about to do something he doesn't want you to do. Um, then we have a string ordeal, and this is when the string guy, Shura, he casts a bunch of strings, and he's not doing it against any of the crew, but he does it against the Shandorians, and the Shandorians are like going through the forest trying to find Enel, and all of a sudden they stop, and he's just like, "Haha, you encountered my strings." They're like they're like spider-like strings, but they're made of clouds. So all their attacks are based on clouds, pretty much. And he's like, you encounter them as soon as you enter the forest. You hit them, but you didn't notice them because once you get a lot of strings on you, then you just stop. But you don't know
Hello
why.
to the other two people that are currently watching.
Oh, what's up? Mine says 3.
Yeah, you and two others.
Oh, hey, what's up? We're just talking about some One Piece, so if you want to hang in here.
And please let us know your opinion on what we're covering.
Yeah, or
And
whatever.
give us some recommendations if desired.
Just keep listening. We're here to entertain you guys. Don't worry about it. If you guys are interested in the current campaign, what is it called? Skypiea campaign. You want to watch it? It's on Netflix or whatever. That's what we're doing.
Netflix, Hulu, Crunchyroll.
We just lost one. Anyways, see, engaging with people, they get scared. They're like, oh, they're talking to me. Oh my god.
I at least want to start kind of just acknowledging a tiny bit.
Yeah. No,
especially live streams.
Yeah. Anyways, one person that's still watching. All right, where were we at? Oh, the string ordeal.
May say two, but he's one of them.
Yeah. Don't tell them that. They don't know. Anyways. Let's see. What did I write down? Oh, right. Wiper was able to. He saved all. He was the only one that wasn't caught in the string because he went like above or something, and he saved everyone from the strings. He's like, oh, here it is, and how he did that was by he attacked. We using what was thought to be an impact dial. He attacked Shura with a reject dial, which is a reject dial is different from an impact dial where it's 10 times the strength, but it also can hurt you. It can also hurt the user. So that was a kind of a dial that nobody used because it was too detrimental to the actual user. So he's able to beat Shura. He's actually still alive after this, and a bunch of his lieutenants are like, "Hey, don't! What are you doing? Don't use that again. You're gonna die if that happens." And he actually doesn't care. He keeps saying like, "I'm looking for Enel. I'm gonna find him. I'm gonna use this on him, and he will finally be defeated. And I don't care if I die along with them." So that's dedication there. Let's see. We're introduced to the 50 divine soldiers, and they have X-Styles, a lot of them. And you have like a bunch of scenes with the Shandorians and the divine soldiers are just fighting each other, and they're like sheep people. Is that what they're supposed to be? They have like two tiny little horns on top. They sound like sheep. They're like bah, bah. I'm gonna attack you. Bah. So they get X-Styles, and then we get a scene where Luffy is lost because of the snake. It separated Luffy, Zoro, Nami, or Nico Robin, and Chopper. So they're all separated, and they're all going in different directions, which is really cool. Anyways, uh, then Wiper finds Luffy, and Wiper keeps attacking him with his bazooka thing, and Luffy's like, "Oh, Gumma Gumma balloon," like and he keeps telling him like, "That's not gonna work on me. That's not gonna work on me. That's not gonna work on me," and he's like, Wiper's finally like, "Okay, I'll use something else then." So he's about to fire this new round that he puts in. It's a mystery round, and Luffy gets like attacked by a snake, and he gets away. He gets something happens, and he like is is out of there in like 2 seconds. And then Wiper's like, "Okay, well that was weird. Well, I'm gonna keep moving." Um, Yep, they're all split up. See, and then we have Zoro. We have a fight between Zoro and one of the lieutenants of the Shandorians. Zoro doesn't want to fight him. He's like, oh, hey, we should be on the same side. And this guy named Braham or whatever, he's kind of like he's using like impact dials from a distance. Or no, he has pistols. That's right. He has a couple pistols, and he's able to shoot um, Zoro. And Zoro's like, oh, I have to get up close, and I don't. He doesn't. Zoro doesn't understand what sky fighting yet, and this other guy's like, you can't get close to me. I'm gonna win this fight no matter what. And Zoro tries out his new attack, which is a um, kind of a ranged attack, but with swords. And he actually tests it out on a bird as a warm up, a giant bird that attacked him. And we learned it's called the 36-pound phoenix. Why is it called that? Nobody knows, but he's able to defeat this Braham guy. Like, click the easy button. That was easy. Uh, all right. Then we get the next scene of Chopper and Gidatsu, and I actually love Gidatsu. he's he's the best priest ever. He actually has like another like divine soldier next to him, and he's getting so mad at Chopper. Like Chopper doesn't even notice Gidatsu. Chopper's just like in his own little world. He's like, oh, I gotta find the city of gold. Where's the city of gold? I gotta get away from people. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And then he just like turns around and sees Gidatsu just like menacingly staring at him, and Gidatsu's just like, I'm mad. And he gets so mad, his eyes go up to into his own face, and he's like, where did you go? Where did you go? How have you done this? And the and the divine soldier behind him is like it's like Gidatsu, you can't your eyes are up in your head. You gotta look straight ahead. He's like, oh, what? I do? Oh yeah, there you are. And then Chopper's like, are you serious? Like, did you not know that was a thing? Like, Chopper notices a body. He's like, oh crap, don't kill him, please. He's like, haha, you only have a 50% chance of surviving my ordeal. It was just like, oh, swamp ordeal is pretty easy, huh? And yeah, I guess we'll just finish this one, and then we'll talk about other things. Um, but burn bazooka. Oh, I think I did that wrong. Oh, nice. Anyways, Chopper and Gidatsu, and then Chopper's like, "Aren't you gonna introduce yourself?" And he's like, "Oh right," and he just stands there proudly, and he says, like an inner monologue thing, saying, "I'm Gadatsu, the mighty warrior. You only have 50% chance of defeating me." And he's standing there all silent, and then the soldier has to remind him, "Gadatsu, you have to say that out loud." And he's like, "Oh, of course I do." And Chopper's like, "Oh my God, who is this lunatic?" Oh, that gives me so many ideas for D&D characters. Oh, that's great. I bet the other person watching is Mike. It's gotta be Mike.
Mike, if that's you, say something. He normally said something by now.
Give it 30 seconds.
As you know, see something, say something.
And so Chopper and Gadestu have a fight, and we learn that Gadestu has a special like cloud technique where it like latches onto you, and you can't. It's like quicksand basically, but it's cloud quicksand, and you can't breathe, and you uh, lose the ability, and you lose your life basically. And so he does this attack, but instead of hitting Chopper, he hits the soldier, and he's like, "No, Kadetsu, no, you hit me and you hit the wrong person," and he's struggling, and so Chopper is able to learn from this, like, "Oh, you can't leave that cloud thing. Okay, avoid the cloud strikes. Cool." And he does his uh, medicine ball thing. What is it? What is that called again? Do you remember?
I don't.
It doesn't matter. His Chopper crunchy ball thing, and he's like trying to figure out his weakness. And it's a very short fight, but it's actually one of the most entertaining fights out of all the fights with the priest so far. And he finds his weakness, and he, he's actually got hit by an attack that knocked him out. He's barely able to move, but he's slowly climbing up this building, trying to get to Gadatsu, and he just hugs his leg. He's like, "Hey, get off my leg!" And what we don't realize is that he took off the guy's shoe, so now he's trying to like float on his two shoes. He can't do that, and so he does a cloud, and he falls into a cloud, one of his own swamp clouds, and he drowns in his own swamp cloud. So, um, yeah, he's I don't know how he was able to defeat many other people, but a 50% chance of surviving. Yeah, I guess not many people chose the swamp. But yeah. Anyways, so intermingle with that, uh, goes back and forth, and Nell comes to the Going Merry. Sanji attacks him, gets fried, and then Usopp says, "I got 8,000 supporters. You cannot defeat us." Usopp gets fried, and then Nami's there, and she's scared out of her mind. Like, what do we do? Like, we can't do much. And he tells them, like, "Hey, I am a god. I am made of like you can't. This is your one and only warning to not do anything." But that's just to taste my power, and that he just leaves. So it was like, okay. So Sanji and Usopp are out. Like they're alive, but they can't help at all. So they're on IR pretty much. He does. Oh yes, right. He talks to them about the reason for why everyone is so interested in this island, and it's because of gold. Like, uh, and now's after the gold. The Shandorians are after the gold, and the Blue Sea people after the gold. And Ganfall, when asked about gold, he has no idea what gold is. And I'm assuming that all the Skypiea people don't know what gold is either. But he does mention like I can't remember if he says it to them or he's talking. He talks about it before, but he's like once I get what I want, I don't need anybody anymore. So everybody's like all the people under me, like they'll probably die, and he makes a game out of it. Like I am abusing my power because he's so powerful and nobody can stop him, and he gets what happens when you're overly power, and same thing with when you're overly rich, you just get bored of normal things, and so you have to find ways to be unbored, and that's basically messing with people. Um, and so that's what he does. And we don't know what's going to happen yet, but it's going to be crazy. Will they be able to stop him? We don't know, because we will actually learn shortly of how powerful he actually is. Um, let's see. So we have the burn bazooka. Um, I think Wiper had this, and he was fighting Luffy. He had the that's what his bazooka was called, and he was like, "Wow, burn bazooka!" And then Luffy did
it was burn.
Um, Gummy Gummy bazooka at the same time, so they hit each other. And Wiper realized, oh, Luffy's actually pretty strong. Then we have a very short fight between Genbo, who's a lieutenant of Wiper, and the Divine Commander Yama. He's this big guy. He's big. He's buff. He eats his meat and vegetables every single day. Maybe he skips the vegetables, but get that simp stuff out of here. Get scrolling. So they have like a short fight, and we learn that this Divine Commander, his attack is like axe mountain. He has like a belt of like 10 axe dials going across his chest, and he uses that to defeat him. And you're like, oh man, this guy is pretty powerful. Wow. And then we have another short fight of oh right, Enel leaves Hattori and Kitori at the boat to fight Nami and Ganfall, who's there, who's still recovering. He's bandaged up and stuff, and they're fighting each other. And we learn about their different hands. There's like a fire hand, there's a gas hand, there's an impact dial hand, and what was the other one? I can't remember. But they each had their hands. They're like, "Oh, you killed our brother Satori. We're gonna take our revenge." And then Nami's like, "Well, I didn't do that. I don't even know who that. I don't even know who that is." And they're like, "Well, we're gonna get our revenge on you." And they're sitting there attacking them, and they use the smelly one it's like, I put farts in here, and it's just like, oh my god. In one of the dials, they're just like laughing at them. And so Nami gets her like blue stick out. What is that? What was it called? Do you remember?
Climate tech.
Climate tech.
Climate tech.
Climate tech. Oh my god, I got so many notes. Oh my goodness. And yeah, that cool weapon that she has, and Ganfall, it comes out. He's like, oh, I'm gonna attack these guys too, and then so they're able to outsmart him, and they use their own like gas and fire against them, and they explode and they die, and now they're dead. So haha, they win, excellent. So that's another short fight, but it's kind of cool to see even these little fights. There's so much detail in them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Right, and then we have Nico Robin. She makes it to. She's like on the outskirts of the city of gold or whatever, and she's looking at all the different relics of the Shandora. She's just exploring. She's just like, this is absolutely fascinating. And as someone who studied history, I find that fascinating too. It's like okay, this is our past kind of thing. And actually, in the next episode that we're doing, um, we'll get more into the history of the city of Shandora, or the city of gold, which is absolutely fascinating. So I believe that starts at episode 174, but this episode that we're doing will end at 173, so you have to wait until next week, unfortunately. But it is actually.
Well, that's if we both
amazing.
watch 22 episodes like that.
That would take 7 hours to do at 20 minutes a pop. That'll take about 7 hours. 3 episodes in an hour.
And because you said that, 2 people just left.
Oh, mine says 3.
But right when you started talking, saying that'll be 7 hours, there's 3 people, and then I looked at 1.
Oh, mine says 1 now too.
So it's all because of you.
I'm doing my due diligence. It's like, sorry folks, you gotta wait till next time, so suck it. Oh, another person just came on. Hey, if I don't know if you were one of the people who literally just left, but we're talking about the history of the Shandora and Nico Robin. Oh, that person just left. Okay, let's just keep. We're almost done. So we got the relics of Shandora, and then Nico Robin meets Yama, and they have a bit of a disagreement. Yes, a bit of a disagreement, and that's when the Swamper deal comes. Yeah, we had that, and Yama is talking to Nico Robin and saying, "Hey, you're one of the Blue Sea people. I need to attack you." And he's destroying some of the ruins that are there, and she doesn't like this. She's just like, "Ooh, what you're doing right now does not tickle my fancy." Just gotta say. And we had that person leave too, so that's okay. Anyways, we have Conus and Pagaya. Oh, that's right. It cuts back to Conus and Pagaya. They see Aisa on her waiver, and it gets destroyed by a fish. She's about to be eaten, but they save her at the very last second, which is sick. And then they run into Nami and the boat. And they're like, "Hey, how's it going, guys? I can't believe you're still alive." And they ask them about how they're doing or where have they been. And they're at the house of Ganfall, and they've actually Nami got a new waiver. He was able to fix that old waiver, and he said, "Yeah, this dial that you have has been extinct for hundreds of years, but now that you brought this waiver with us, the waiver I'm going to give you is going to be way more powerful, and I'm going to give it to you." And Nami's like, "Oh my god, this is awesome," and it is. Yep, so Nami and Ganfall win. Nami's new waiver, and this is a very intense scene. At the very end here, we have Enel and another one of the lieutenants, Kamakiri, and he seems to be the more reasonable one between him and Wiper. And he encounters Enel, and Enel does the most sadistic thing ever. And he says, "Hello, Kamakiri. I know you want to attack me, so I'm gonna make a game out of this. I will sit here on this branch for 5 minutes and not dodge or counterattack you. However, after that 5 minutes, I get free reign to do whatever I want to you." And so, for the next 5 minutes, Kamakiri is attacking Enel. He's basically just showing off at this point, and he's teasing Kamakiri. He's basically demoralizing, dehumanizing Kamakiri, saying, "You can't do anything. You are nothing. You are scum." He's calling him scum without calling him scum. And Kamakiri literally has a spear. He pierces it through Enel's head, literally from one end to the other. Would kill literally like 1,000% of people, except for this guy. And he says, "I am literally made of lightning. I am a god. You cannot kill me. And then he starts to run away, and he goes, haha, oh, now you start to run away. And he's like, he does his attack like million volts attack or whatever. And so he fries Kamakiri. And at that same moment, he realizes, oh, 20 other voices just went silent. Oh, I guess the electricity carried my attack on the river. Huh. Oh well. Like these people mean nothing to him. Like where does he get off? You know, he's just a monster at this point. And Kamakiri is dead. He's down. He just got electrocuted with 1,000 volts, of course. Um, and he says that there are 25 people left out of the original 81. 25 people are alive. Luckily, the entire crew is still alive. But he predicts that there will only be 5 people that are alive left. So 20 people that are going to die, according to now. And that is the end of episode 173. The next season starts at 174.
Which I still find weird how they split it in two.
Yeah. I definitely shouldn't have said anything.
What do you mean?
Oh, there's still one person watching this with me.
Well, technically two, but I don't count.
Oh wait, hold on. Look at that. We got people liked it.
I was one of them.
Oh, was you? Then we got 1 like because
no,
I liked it. I liked it. You liked it.
Because I can like my own videos, and now somebody's watching.
Oh. Hello, person.
And he left. I just realized if I just look at it like this, I don't have to refresh it.
I feel like if there's like a few people, like one person watching or whatever, and you engage with them, they just get scared and like, oh, don't talk to me. Oh my God, you not. Because a lot of people get anxious with that stuff. But maybe if there's like a handful of people watching, like we had, I think the most we had was like 4 people.
The most I've had, and when I've been playing on my PS5, is like 8.
Oh, okay. I think it's better to, instead of like talking like to them like they're one person, be like say that they're a group. It's like, hello group of people, random people watching us or whatever.
Or I can even like when we start noticing, I can even just message in here instead of say it in the video.
Yeah, and I think saying like, oh, tell us what to do, like you were saying before.
Just so
like
we
give us suggestions, like during the live stream. I think that scares people away because it makes them want to do work.
I can start just doing it.
Be like, oh, hey folks, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can say something like that.
And I can just
if you want.
Please give us suggestions in here. Because instead of breaking stride as much.
I think if you word it like, because that's too general. I think if you word it like, give us stuff you want us to see review or something like that. Like be like be like a teacher or something like that. You have a
review suggestions.
Yeah, review suggestions exactly. Do you want us to review something? Name it. We'll review it.
Before we start ranting even more, let's finish this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm Ski Nerd, and that is Derp Derp. My throat is dying.
Please like, subscribe, comment. We didn't do Pokemon this week
because of reasons.
Some people not showing up on time.
Yes.
For a session that was supposed to happen before Pokemon. Then.
I thought you said we were starting at 7:30, so that's why I didn't come.
I wasn't blaming you. It's.
Yeah. No. I mean. I was thinking like that could have been a factor too. Like I'll take responsibility for that.
But
I was like, when you said it, I said you coming. I was like, oh shit, did we start at 7?
Tomorrow, join us for Yakuza, like a dragon.
Oh yeah. If you're a Yakuza fan, it's on. Is it on
Prime Video? Out Video. Tomorrow. We'll review probably the first for sure, and maybe the second episode, depending on if you watch the first one on your own.
I probably will.
Because I can watch, I'll watch as much as I can, and then rewatch with you. I'm that psyched for it.
Nice.
But and then join us. Maybe Sunday we'll be reviewing Love and Monsters. We'll do Pokemon Wednesday around 2:30 next week.
No, you'll have 0 because I just logged off.
And earlier because I'll be going to see the Sabaton movie. And Thursday will be One Piece. The second season of Skypiea.
Yeah, I only watched an episode and a half. These are the ones I have so far. Because what happens with her discovering the City of Gold is very fascinating to me.
But nobody's watching, but everybody have a good night.
Sayonara!
And please give us some ideas.
If you want us to review something, we shall review it.
Even if it's like Twilight.
If you want him to play a certain video game, like maybe Space Marine 2 or something like that, which I think you would enjoy.
Well, even watch and review Twilight if somebody requests it.
I hate you so much. Oh, we should have like punish streams or something like that. It's like kids force us to watch Twilight. No.
Or
Scrambling our brains.
my friend forced us to forced us to watch Twilight because I can guess one person will probably do that.
Yeah, we should have like goals of 40,000 subscribers. We'll have to watch Twilight.
Okay.
50,000 subscribers.
Before I end the stream, you heard from his voice.
No, we were still live. No.
40,000 subscribers will watch Twilight.
I thought watching all of One Piece was bad, but watching Twilight's even worse.
40,000 will watch all 5 Twilight movies.
No, all 5? No.
They aren't that long.
There's 5 of them.
Well, fine then. 40,000 will just watch the first. 50,000 will watch all 5.
Oh wait! Oh God!
you